Today on Getting Real with the Housewives, Candace Dillard Bassett exits Real Housewives of Potomac. Here's what she told us about a possible departure back in January.
It's done, a number on us in a lot of ways, and it's been a lot for Chris to have his character be tested and tried.
Plus, Porsha Williams wants an emergency hearing against her ex. Lisa Rinna reveals if she will ever return to Beverly Hills. And Shannon is sued over a facelift. And Mauricio proves that the psychic was right as Kyle leaves a racy comment on Morgan Wade's Instagram. We've got that plus so much more on today's Getting Real with the Housewives. Hey everyone, I'm Christina and welcome to Getting Real with the Housewives. We have some big, shocking Potomac news, so let's get right into it because Candace is leaving the Real Housewives of Potomac. She said to People magazine, "As I embark on a new chapter after 6 remarkable years with the Real Housewives of Potomac, I am filled with gratitude for the enriching friendships, personal growth, and moments of introspection that have defined this journey. With a whirlwind of new opportunities and responsibilities on my plate, I've decided to take a break from Potomac." The singer hinted Bravo viewers haven't seen the last of her, though. She said this is not a farewell, but a see you later. Now, this comes at the end of a contentious season that found Candace at odds with many of the women on the show, including castmate Robin Dixon. Now, there are some rumors going around that Robin is also exiting the show. That has not been 100% confirmed at the time that we were filming this, but so many things can change. I think Candace may have been thinking about this for a while because in January, I asked her if she and Chris, her husband, ever talked about leaving the show after their marriage was called into question. How do you kind of block out that noise and, was there ever a point that maybe you thought, maybe this isn't good for us anymore, maybe we shouldn't do this?
Yeah.
Not your marriage, maybe the show.
Yeah, well, we have that conversation all the time. I think Chris and I being friends first is what helps us sustain. We were truly like homies for several years before I ever saw him in a romantic way. Love is patient and kind and all those things in Corinthians, but it can also be fleeting. Sure. And when love is kind of ebbing, it's a friendship that can sustain a marriage, and for us, that has been the case for sure. I can like him when I don't want to love you right now, but I like you as a friend. Sure. I respect you as a friend. The show has definitely rocked us in many ways. It's also been great for us. We got married on the show. You really saw the beginnings of our life together, which we'll always have forever. But it's done, a number on us in a lot of ways, and it's been a lot for Chris to have his character be tested and tried. But the saving grace has been the fans, the audience that sees through it, and the camera doesn't lie, and you can see a genuine heart when it's real, and Chris is a really genuine person, and I appreciate the fans for all the love and support and seeing Chris for who he really is.
Definitely. Yeah, she's definitely had some hard seasons the past couple seasons with a lot of people questioning her marriage, her friendship with Robin. So I feel like as sad as this is, because I love Candace as a housewife, I think she's so fantastic. Maybe she's putting herself on pause and kind of exploring other avenues, and maybe we'll see her return. But I think maybe for her and for Chris, it's probably for the best right now. I'd love to know in the comments what you think. If you think that Candace should be taking a break, if you think that Robin should be exiting the show. A lot of people thought that after last season, but would love to see what you guys have to say about that. All right, well, Porsha Williams has demanded an emergency hearing after allegedly being locked out of her home by her estranged husband, Simon. She claimed that he changed the locks on their Atlanta residence to prevent her attempts to access her home, seemingly to be vindictive and retaliatory for wanting to divorce him and denying his request to stay in their home despite their prenup saying that he has 30 days to vacate after she filed for divorce. So Porsha was eventually able to access the gate, but then he allegedly disabled her access to the residence, changed the locks, and changed the garage code almost immediately after she left with her daughter. Now, despite his insistence to stand his ground, apparently he is not even in the country. He is spending time in Dubai. So this is very confusing. So in separate legal documents obtained by Page 6, Simon claimed that Porsha had brought an armed gunman to their home. He called the police to maintain the peace, and 3 days later, Porsha allegedly forced her way into their home with her mother and her mother's boyfriend, where Simon claimed they disengaged security cameras and tampered with items and evidence. Crazy talk. Get Andy in the camera. So glad that Porsha is back on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, because this is going to be an epic season, but definitely a scary situation if you have an armed gunman coming into the home. You know, he's locking her out of her own house. Like, this is nuts. So hopefully now that they have this emergency hearing, things can be reevaluated and we can hopefully get to some sort of conclusion, but definitely a scary situation for Porsha. All right, well, Lisa Rinna learned a lot from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but would she ever return? She said during an appearance on the Jennifer Hudson show that she's grateful for the experience she had on the Bravo reality show, adding, "I think it has made me a better actor because I am acting again." She explained that her time as a housewife came in handy while working on her latest project. She said, "Working with those women, going through that experience, I just did a movie called Mommy Meanest, which I trained for 8 years on that show. I definitely did, and I had a lot to pull from. I have a lot to pull from after working for 8 years on that show, different psychologies of different women. I never would have come across that if I hadn't done that show." Now, she expressed her appreciation, like she said, but she told Jennifer that she wouldn't consider returning to the show. She said, "I am the person I am today because of it, but I'll never go back. Nope, I did it, done it, saw the movie." I spoke to her a while back as well, and she kind of reiterated the same thing, that she, is done. Once she decided to leave, that was it. She had a terrible season, her final season, with everything that went on with Kathy Hilton. It seems like they had made amends, but I feel like that is the final time that we will ever see Lisa Rinna on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'd love to know, after watching this season, if you missed her on the show. It definitely felt different. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily missed her that much, but I definitely feel like there was something missing this past season. I don't know. It was just a little off for me. So I'd love for you to tell me in the comments if you thought the same thing. All right, well, Shannon Bedore is being sued by her ex-boyfriend, John Jansen, over money she allegedly borrowed to get a facelift. John filed a lawsuit against Shannon, suing her for breach of oral contract and promissory fraud, claiming that she failed to repay him $75,000. He claimed that Shannon asked him for the money back in 2022. He sent her $40,000 via wire transfer in January of that year, which was allegedly used for the plastic surgery procedure. People reported that he also paid her a secondary $35,000 in May of 2023, given by personal check. Now, he claimed in court documents that Shannon has failed to return the money, even though she agreed to pay him back with interest. His lawyer said Ms. Bedore's defense that Mr. Jansen paid her $75,000 as a gift is completely meritless, which their emails and text messages will show. Mr. Jansen is saddened that Ms. Bedore's unwillingness to repay the loans made it necessary to file this lawsuit. He is seeking the full $75,000 plus accrued interest costs and reasonable attorney's fees. Well, Shannon told us, "I agreed to pay John what he wanted because I knew that attorney fees would surpass the amount sought, but more importantly, to eliminate the negative emotional components that come with the lawsuit. It is important that I continue to focus on the positive aspects of my life and move forward." John declined the offer because he refused to sign a mutual non-disparagement agreement. "I was hoping that if I met this baseless demand, we could at least use this as an opportunity to bring complete closure to this chapter in my life." I mean, things are just getting messy now. It seems like she wanted to pay him. There was a clause in her agreement as well, so it just doesn't seem like they could have linked up. But now lawyers are involved. Again, probably going to be another messy storyline on this season of OC because they're filming. I do feel bad for Shannon. I feel like she just wants to move on with her life. But I guess if he did loan her $75,000, she does have to pay him back. All right, well, former Real Housewives of Orange County star Meghan King is offering Princess Kate an apology after taking part in the internet fodder surrounding her whereabouts. She said, "I saw all the news about Kate Middleton, and it's so horrible. I mean, I'm the same age as her, so it really hits home, and just sending prayers and good vibes her way." She said, "I feel really bad that I participated in the speculation about extramarital stuff," which, I mean, it still could be the case, but it's not at the forefront here. She added, "Just sending her so many prayers and good vibes, healthy vibes, and I do think she will have a full recovery." Now, Meghan was just one of the lots of celebrities to add fuel to the fire as questions about Kate's health arose. Of course, we just found out that she does have cancer and she's undergoing treatment for that. But a lot of people had their opinions about whether or not Prince William had an affair with Rose Hanbury. So, Meghan King said that she was going to hire a psychic to try to find her, but she did backtrack on those statements, and a lot of other people have done so as well, which rightfully they should have. All right, well, Mauricio Umansky's explanation for the issues in his marriage to Kyle bears an eerie resemblance to psychic Alison Dubois' prediction about their relationship. On Buying Beverly Hills, he stated, "It's hard because Kyle and I are such busy people right now, and we are both doing so many things. Our kids are starting to grow up and are looking at moving out. We are having to learn how to have a different type of relationship." Now, Mauricio said it was hard for them to form a new relationship without being parents since their kids are out of the house, almost all their kids. He added, "The ultimate dream of being married to somebody forever and eternal, I think we both still have it, but we both want to have it with passion and love." Now, Mauricio, citing dynamics in their family as the reason for the distance, reminded Beverly Hills fans of the infamous season 1 episode, The Dinner Party from Hell, when a psychic, Allison, hinted at the same issues. She said at the time, "He will never emotionally fulfill you, but you will stay with him and he will take care of you. And as soon as the kids are bigger, you'll have nothing in common." Well, if you remember, I spoke to Allison last year after the news broke of Kyle and Mauricio's split, and she stood by her word. So here's what she had to say.
I know a lot of people thought I'd be happy about it. And I actually, I wasn't. These are the predictions that are made that sometimes make people unhappy, that when they're confirmed, it doesn't make you feel good. It's, like predicting a death, but a death of a relationship. Mm-hmm. So I went back and I had to look at the words that I used at the time, that he will never emotionally fulfill her. I stand by that. That he'll take care of her and she'll stay with him. Mm-hmm. So what does that look like if somebody takes care of you and you stay with them, but you're separated? Well, you're living in the same house, but probably not having sex. So, an open marriage. So that's what I see unfolding. She can say what she wants, and I know she has an image to protect, but I don't think that they've been happy for a very long time. I lived in Beverly Hills. It's a very small town. Mm. And so you run into people who know them and know things, and I felt like I knew too much. So in a way, I'm sort of glad now. That all came out obviously after I did the Housewives, because I didn't know who Kyle was at the time, but I did go to parties a year, 2 years later, and run into people who did tell me things. I think it's been sort of widely known in the entertainment industry for years since then that they weren't necessarily on the same page.
I mean, she kind of had it right. All right, well, moving on to our social spotlight, and Kyle left a very flirty comment on Morgan Wade's Instagram video. The black and white clip showed Morgan, she had this sleeveless flannel, bootcut jeans, boots, cowboy hat, and Kyle wrote, "Save a horse, ride a cowgirl." Now, this prompted Morgan to reply with the cry laughing emoji and skull emoji, and in another comment, Morgan added, "She stole my caption." Oh, will these two ever tell us what exactly is going on? But this comment definitely raised a lot of eyebrows. All right, well, that is it for this week's episode of Getting Real with the Housewives. Let us know in the comments if you are sad that Candace is exiting the show, if you think that Robin should stay. Lots of opinions going on about that one. So definitely keep commenting, keep subscribing, and we'll see you next week.